Hi, you're with Karch and learn to fish with us. Just recently we've had some questions asked on what is the basic equipment that we use when we're ice fishing and what is the additional things that you get if you were to go ice fishing. So in the first segment we're going to talk about the basics that you need to go ice fishing. This video will be on learn with the number 2 fishwithus.com. So when I start thinking about going ice fishing, the first thing I think about is having a nice pair of boots that will keep me warm, insulated clothing, long underwear. I love this Fravel top. The wind doesn't go through or anything and it's so warm. I love my little Fravel hat too with my little ear flaps because it actually keeps my whole top warm. And having a hat, believe it or not, is very important when you're ice fishing. And then of course, a good pair of gloves. And I love fishing with the fingerless. You know, I tend, to think if I keep my fingers together, it keeps my hands warmer. Another thing to think about is potentially take some hand warmers with you, because if something does get cold, you can throw it in, put it on the hands, and you warm up. The next thing I think about when I'm ice fishing is my safety equipment that I need. If it's first ice, I'm gonna have my spikes on, and when I push them down into the ice, the spike will actually come out and it'll actually help me get out should I fall in. Another thing I keep all times in my shanty is rope. Should I fall in, should I see somebody fall in, I have a ton of rope so that I can help somebody to safety. Another important thing when I'm fishing, I'm always wearing creepers. If there's snow on the ice like there is, it's not bad walking, but if it's ice, you gotta have this because it's so easy to go down. Then the next thing I'm gonna do, I gotta have a couple fishing rods. But before the fishing rods, I need an auger because I need to get through the ice. I always keep, when I'm moving around, after I'm done drilling, I make sure to put the cover back on. This is just an auger, so all you're gonna do is just turn around, go like this, and it drills through if you go clockwise. This is a laser auger. I found out that to me, they're pretty darn good auger. Gets me through the ice. Next thing I need a skimmer. I'm gonna go down, skim the ice chunks out, throw them off to the side. So now that I have my hole, it's time to fish. So what am I gonna need? I'm gonna need a fishing combo, like using a straight line. So if you want a spring bobber, if you're getting started for the first time, definitely recommend a spring bobber because you'll be able to see the fish bite a lot easier. So when you see a fish, you're going to actually see a fish pull the bobber down. And that way you know you have a bite. Sometimes your lures are heavy and the bobber will be down a little bit, and when you see it come up, that means a fish is bit and they're swimming up, and we're going to do is set the hook. As you can see, look at that. Look at the flexibility in this. I love Fravel ice fishing combos. This is a straight line. I like this. These are perfect if you're fishing in a shanty. Next thing you're going to need is you're going to need a couple different jigs. I got some horizontal jigs and I got some vertical jigs. So, nice little plastic container, to keep them dry. The other thing I like to have in my arsenal if I was fishing for the first time is a ruler to know how big are my fish, because if you're fishing for the first time you might not know. I know typically I like to see a 7-inch bluegill so I can measure them up. 7 inches, okay, it goes in the bucket. I like to at least see 8.5-inch perch. I can measure it, throw it in the bucket. Another nice thing is a towel, because as you catch fish, you're going to want to wipe your hands on stuff. So just having a nice towel inside, with you is nice. Another thing might be a sled. This is a shanty, but just to have a sled to throw all this stuff in, or have a big bucket. So those are things to consider when you're fishing as a starter.